Hi, everybody. Have you ever been really wanting to feel lighter and happier and more free? Then you need a little mini emotional reset. And I'm going to tell you how to make that happen today. So, today we're going to explore something that affects everybody, I'm sure, silently. And if you watch enough YouTube videos and things, life looks so perfect and grand and amazing for so many people. But for other people, that isn't reality. Most people, even that are showing in the video, it's not reality. They're waking up and they're feeling anxiety and knot in their stomach, wondering why life is so heavy and exhausting. And they're not full of hope. They're not excited for the day, most people. And they feel this heaviness in their chest. Maybe you've felt this before, or that sinking feeling of, oh, here we go again. Before you even get out of bed in the morning. You might even be laying there before you get out and your mind is already racing with thoughts of, I got to do this and I got to do this and I don't want to get up, and your alarm's going off and you're thinking of your to-do list and your deadlines and all the expectations of things and people that are there waiting for you at work and wherever. And you haven't even had a chance to breathe yet. You're still laying in bed. So what's the first thing most people do is we reach for our phone. Let's check all our notifications right away. Let's dive straight into the noise and the social media and the emails and the texts and the news and blah, blah, blah. And then what happens is our mind is racing even more. Our thoughts are going even wilder. And the tension inside of us is it's just crazy and we haven't even been up yet. And the anxiety is deepening. And all this is happening before your day even begins. You're already exhausted. You're already exhausted. So this isn't just about mornings. This is a feeling that can follow us through the whole day. A lot of times when your morning is rushed and chaotic, that breeds into the entire day, and it just continues on and on because we've lost touch with ourselves already from the moment we wake up. So we're rushing for deadlines, we're rushing for traffic, we're juggling all the responsibilities of what has to be done in the morning. We're trying to be everything to everyone. And it's not just all these external demands that weigh us down, it's internal ones too. Like we have the pressure to be perfect and trying not to let people down, and the belief that we have to do all of it, we have to do it all, only we can do it, nobody can do it right, we have to do it. We're not allowed to rest. We'll rest when all the stuff is done, and that makes saying no to things, and people and expectations, that just makes us selfish. We're carrying so much. And for so many of us, it feels like there's no other way. But there is another way, because you're carrying things that we were never meant to carry, things we don't have to carry. And until we let some of this stuff go, until we create space for ourselves, we will never feel free. And so in this emotional freedom conversation, I want to make sure we talk about boundaries, because boundaries can actually be a key to so much freedom. And most of us struggle with boundaries, to be honest. Most of us struggle. And if you haven't struggled with boundaries, then that's amazing, because I haven't met one person yet that has not had some sort of struggle with them. And it's not because we don't want to do them. It's because we were taught that boundaries is kind of like selfish or rude or unkind. But boundaries are not walls. These aren't things that we're putting up. This isn't a cement wall that we're laying between people, or a brick wall. They're not about shutting people out. They're about creating space for things that matter to you most, so that you can wake up without the knot in your stomach and the anxiety and everything else. Because every time you say yes to something that doesn't feel right for you, you're actually saying no to something that does. Let me repeat that. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't feel right for you, you are saying no to something that does. So when you say yes to like a work project or after school thing that you don't actually have time for, you're saying no to rest. When you say yes to some sort of social event or gathering or party you really don't want to go to, you're saying no to protecting your own peace. And when you say yes to stuff like somebody else wants you to do and you really don't want to do it, but you say yes because you feel guilty or you feel like you have to or you should to, you're actually saying no to your own joy, your own space, and your own time. That you could be doing something that uplifts you and makes you feel good. So in fact, saying no is one of the most loving things that you can actually do for yourself and all the people around you, because when you're burning the candle at both ends and running on empty all the time, trying to please everybody and make everything happen and be the Martha Stewart to everybody, which was my nickname as I was younger, because that was me. I am speaking from experience and a lot of it. You're showing up resentful, you show up exhausted, you show up drained with a fake smile on your face, like you've got it all under control. But you're not showing up as your best self. You're running on fumes. Your health could be declining. You're not eating properly. You're not drinking enough fluid sometimes, and you're running around trying to be the be-all, end-all to everyone. Does this resonate with you? Let's be honest. Saying no is hard, I know. Saying no is hard. It can be uncomfortable. It brings up guilt. It makes us worry about what people will think about us. But you can do it. Maybe you've been taught that your worth is how much, your worthiness is tied to your productivity or how much you do for others, how much you give, how much you sacrifice. A lot of us were raised by people that were doing that themselves, that that's what they thought meant that they were a good person, sacrificing everything that you love for everyone else and that you need. Your worth is not determined by how much you do for other people. It's not determined for how busy you are or how many boxes you check off the to-do list. You're inherent already worthy. You don't have to earn anything. People that truly love you will respect your boundaries, even if it's uncomfortable. Boundaries are so important, and they can be so much easier than we think they are. It can be as simple as learning to say no to a few things that are just filling our schedule and start there. It can be saying yes to creating your own time and sticking to your own schedule. And if something interferes with that schedule that causes you not to be able to take care of yourself, that's when you say, I'm sorry, I just cannot fit that in right now. And there's no guilt about it. So when you're saying yes when you're saying no to something, you're saying yes to you. So what are you saying yes to in your life right now that isn't serving you? What are you saying yes to out of guilt or obligation or shame or fear or worthiness? And what would it feel like to say no? No is not a bad word. Somehow humans have created the word no, meaning that it's a terrible thing, but we have to have an opposite of yes. It's not a terrible word. N-O, it's 2 letters, it's nothing. We can either fit the stuff in our life or we can cram everything in until we're totally resentful and burning out and end up in the hospital. So that might be a little extreme, but it's reality. And I know because it's happened to me. So imagine what some opening up some space in your life would feel like. Imagine how light you'd feel, how much energy you'd actually reclaim back, and how much joy you'd actually rediscover if you just implemented a few boundaries. And you don't have to go preaching to the choir about all your boundaries. You don't have to tell anybody. They're just inside you. And you know when something interferes with what you have laid out for your own self-care and your own schedule, that it just doesn't, you just don't have the room. There's nothing to be guilty, feeling bad for. You just don't have the space. You're putting yourself first. And the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature, the more internal freedom you're going to have. And there's also a role of gratitude in here. Let's talk about that, because that's like the simplest, most powerful practice for shifting your mindset and creating some emotional freedom that you can even have. When you wake up in the morning, instead of diving into your phone and opening all the emails and getting into everything, take a moment and just connect with yourself. Lay there and think about things that you're grateful for. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to have a spacious morning. Doesn't mean that you don't have to go to work or have an alarm on, but it means that you can take 1 minute for yourself and just lay there and think about what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be super significant. It could be the softness of your pillow, how cozy you are, the fact that you're alive and you have a chance to live this day. Gratitude grounds us. It brings us back to the present moment. It reminds us that even when things are haywire and crazy, there are so many things to be thankful for. So when you are in that place of gratitude, you can start making choices that really align with your emotional freedom. When we feel thankful for what we have, it's way easier to say, no, I'm going to be intentional about my space, my life, my surroundings, my environment. That allows you to say yes to the things that really serve you, that you want to do. So I think a big part of this is we need to let go of this perfection. We need to let go of being perfect. We need to let go of the belief that your worth is tied to your productivity. You need to let go of guilt, fear, overwhelm. You need to let go of all this perfectionism tendencies and just create space for what really matters. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to do it all. You're just as worthy if you do half of what you do. Anything. You're so worthy for being here. It's your birthright. So some practical steps to really start you on this journey are to really start your day with intention. And before you grab your phone and dive in your to-do list, take a little moment for yourself and breathe and reflect and be grateful and set an intention for how do you want to feel today? Like, how do you really want to feel today? Practice saying no. Start really small. Say no to something that feels heavy or misaligned with you, and notice how much space you feel like it creates. So much. Maybe you don't want to go to yoga today. Maybe you need to just lay down and put your feet up. Give yourself some you time to do nothing. Start just feeling so much gratitude. If you don't have a gratitude journal already, start one. Write some things down you're grateful for. Let that guide your choices and your mind. And the last thing I really want to share is connecting with the body. Notice in the body where you're holding tension. I know you already know where those are. Maybe your neck is stiff. Maybe your hips are sore. Maybe your back is sore. Notice in the body. Your body is a powerful guide and a powerful sign. It will send you all the signs saying, slow down, listen to me, help me. I'm worn out. I'm sore. Please stop abusing me. So I want you to know that you're not alone in this. You're not alone feeling overwhelmed or stuck or drained or anything. You're not alone in wanting more either. You're not alone in wanting something lighter. And you're not alone in wanting to feel free and more aligned with who you truly are. And emotional freedom is totally possible to you. So whatever you're thinking right now, just take a deep breath and really just let go of all that's not serving you. And know this, you're worthy of rest, you're worthy of joy, you're worthy of freedom. If you enjoyed this video, please join the community, Create, Heal, Shine. I'll leave a link below, and it's where like-minded individuals just like you are working on up-leveling every aspect of our life, taking care of ourselves, getting emotional freedom, managing emotions, and just learning how to turn our pain into purpose. Bye, friends.